You're safe, little one.
Yeah, it's time to wrap it up and go home. I'm not gonna lie. Now, to be frank, I haven't watched a Marvel movie in a long time, but they saying this one was good, and I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty good. It all started when Valentina Fontaine, basically Marvel's Amanda Waller, pit all of her mercenaries against each other to cover her tracks. She had them in there doing the Spider-Man pointing meme. They didn't know who was the bad guy.
Peter!
Yeah? Oh, sorry.
Did you mean that?
Or
Peter.
we're all called Peter,
we're
man.
all Peter Parker.
Same again. We're all
So let's get a rundown of all the so-called Thunderbolts in the movie. We have Black Widow's sister, an old washed up Bucky, another old rip-off Captain America that's Russian, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and a racist Captain America. I'm starting to not like their odds here. But this is also where they met Bob. Yes, his real name is Bob. Why? Don't ask me. And matter of fact, don't ask him, because he don't know either. But eventually they worked together to escape, but in order to escape, Bob had to sacrifice himself. Nah, R.I.P. Bob, man. He was cool as hell. Really dumb name, but cool guy. Hold on, is he flying? What the hell? So this is where we realized Bob was a failed experiment that didn't really fail. And now Fontaine had her hands on him and wanted to turn him into the next big superhero. His superpower? Swag. Nah, twin, you too twin. Look at you, man. Oh god, nah, you too swaggy, bro. But anyways, the rest of the guys came to try and convince him to not work for Fontaine because she was gonna use him for evil. But he wasn't trying to hear none of that. He was beating their asses. I'm talking straight belt. They didn't stand a chance. So they had to retreat. But after they retreated, Bob realized that he didn't have to listen to Fontaine. He was more powerful than anybody. And she didn't like that, so she had to put him down. But by taking him out, she awakened Bob's dark side, the Void, which he has no control over. Yeah, y'all messed up. He about to do you how Hulk did Loki. But when Bob turns into the Void, he can also turn people into shadows and make them relive their worst memories. Mine will probably be the time I ate 3 chalupas from Taco Bell. Not the best idea. Since they can't beat Bob one-on-one, they have to go into their own memories and find Bob through there. This song's straight out the Matrix, or Rick and Morty. Yelena's memory was having to set up one of her childhood friends for one of her tests in the Red Room. Now I'm not gonna lie, if they ask me to do that, I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing no wire and I'm not snitching. You gonna have to find someone else. What's that? You said they just said 20 years? Oh yeah, officer, it was him right here. Yup, he's the one. That one right there. Now eventually Yelena does find Bob, but only after she goes through all of her other bad memories, including when she got all of the girls that were training with her whipped because she could load a gun faster than them. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that's low-key not her fault that they wasn't on business. But I digress. The next memory is when she was blacked out drunk and trying to unalive herself. Which reminds me about a big part of this movie that I haven't really touched on yet. This is a really big movie on mental health. You see, this movie is about a group of broken people who are all just trying to do their best and leave behind their past for something greater. And that's exactly how they win. When Yelena finds Bob, we find out that he was abused as a kid, and that's what led him to being so unstable. But Yelena explains to him that there's nothing to be embarrassed about, and that everybody has a past, and everybody's just trying to move forward and be the best person that they can be. And with that newfound realization, the Thunderbolts get together and take their final stand against the Void. It's boxing time, baby. So the Void starts out with pinning Yelena and the Red Guardian with a table, and then he gets Bucky with the ceiling light. He's starting with the heavy hitters, not a bad idea. But then he follows by trapping racist Captain America and Ghost. I don't like where this is going. Bob tries to reason with him, but then the Void tells him that nobody cares about him. And I know you're the bad guy, bro, but that was pretty mean. But Bob's had enough. He hits him with a clean right hook. Yeah, Bob, let him know. Let him know you're not going for none of that no more. Never mind. But Bob gets back up. Come on, show him who's boss. Come on. Alright, bro, I really can't defend you no more. But with his team cheering him on, Bob tackles him and gives him straight beating. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, Bob. Bob, you can't. Bob, hold on. Damn, Bob. You doing him like Chris Breezy did Rihanna, man. Chill out. Can't blame him though. Go ahead and get that get back, Bob. Go ahead then. But as he's beating into him, the void starts to take over. This is exactly what he wants. If the team don't do something soon, he gonna start looking like RDJ and Tropic Thunder. But Yelena finally escapes and does some cool ass flips to get to Bob. Yeah, bro, we see the flips. You the one. She moving like the motherfuckers who were alone. Yeah, bro, we see it. She finally gets to him and tries to hold him back. But Bob not listening. He's seeing red right now. So everybody else had to escape and help pull him off. And that's it. They beat the void with the power of friendship, I guess. And in the end, Valentina Fontaine reveals them to be the new Avengers.